Alright, no time for intros because intros are lame. No, not lame at all, but yeah, we need to just get a move on with this. So, I forgot to change my formation from Thunderline, however, so I should probably do that real quick. What formation do I want for this? I want probably Hypnotic Bullet because of the induction specialization here. Satori does actually need to be relatively easy to target here. I think she might be better placed here. But I don't know if it actually matters too specifically, but we do have these guys here. So, the skills we are looking for here are Reflect Wall and the Starlight Barrier. Those are the two skills that we can get from the Shisa over here. That's hard for me to say, but whatever. The catch is, the way that you need to get these skills is you need to mind control the opponent, because of course they won't cast them on you because they're support skills. However, if you control the enemy, then, you know, with literally control here, you cannot always get these skills that you are trying to pick up, because the enemy just might not cast it under those under control conditions. You can choose what the enemy uses with this, but you do not get the full arsenal of what the enemy has available. To get that, you're going to need to use Charm. However, Reflect Wall and Starlight Barrier, more so Reflect Wall, but I think Starlight Barrier also has slightly higher priority. Reflect Wall tends to go first, so in order to actually make sure you go first, you either need to have Aya in the commander slot or in the party itself, so you can use her for support stuff. She's better off in the party, really, so I should have Reimu as my commander, to be honest, but we'll just demonstrate it with Paparazzi here. So we can basically ensure that we go first, which then means if I use my charm attack and I manage to charm one of the Shisas over here, then that means I can hopefully get them to use one of their skills. It's random if they decide to use it or not. If they decide to use Reflect Wall or Starlight Barrier, then that will cast over my entire party rather than the enemy's entire party, and when that happens, Satori learns the skill. All support-based skills have a 50% learn rate, so even with just level 1 learning tree, you will always learn the skill. So that is the idea, and we'll just have to see if that actually works in the long run. Until then, we are not going to use Little Legion, because Little Legion would of course mean that everybody would basically have their attacks taken by Alice, and therefore Satori wouldn't get hit, and if Satori doesn't get hit, we can't learn the skill. So that seems pretty reasonable, right? And we shall go ahead with a Psycho Blast, I think, to try and lower the magic damage that we take here. So Paparazzi makes sure that we all go first, and Psycho Blast does cut some magic power, which is good, and now we'll see if I get some Charm off. I do Charm on the 2 which I really needed on, and he just dies, so we get Anti-Magic Shell and Mana Flare. So we didn't get what we needed here, which is unfortunate. But that is just the way it goes. That is why getting these skills is super annoying. Now, I don't believe they will cast the skill again now. I think you will need to mind control them again before they cast the skill. So, we're probably out of luck here. Which means that I need to kill some of the enemies and go from there. And all of that paralysis is super annoying. Yeah. At least Reimu can cure herself though, and I think Reimu can actually recover paralysis, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, we'll just heal for that there. And then just get paralyzed again, and insta-killed. So yeah, you can see how annoying this is to get. This is the general idea. And against a party of this strength, it's really not going to go too well. but that's because I don't have Suneye with me. If I had Suneye with me, then I'd be perfectly fine. But I don't know, like, I guess I could probably change my party around a little bit to make this easier, but whatever. I am too lazy to do that, apparently, so hooray for laziness. I don't know. Let's just go with that. So once again, same idea here at Paparazzi to make sure we have a head start, and we'll try and get the insta-death, and we're hoping that Shisa decides to use something else here, and it does, so there is Reflect Wall, and now we have learned the skill. Speaking of that, because Reflect Wall was used this turn, we actually did Reflect the Mind Blast, which was pretty fun in its own right, and yeah, we can just proceed to win this fight now, because we have gotten ourselves the skill we're after, and that is all that really matters, so let's just win the fight. And we get some materials from it too, which is always good. Is that steel? No, that's a pretty bearer. Still okay. So we can take a quick look at Reflect Wall, and then I will just go ahead and get the rest of the skills we're after here. So it takes a ton of MP to cast this, 54 before reduction stuff, and it does take a bomb, so we are looking at bomb skills and stuff as well now. But it's a high priority multi-target move that reflects magic attacks back at the opponent for the turn it is used. So this is a good support skill to have alongside Reimu's barriers later. She'll get a barrier fairly soon that will let us multi-target defend against stuff, so you know, we'll have the ability to block either physical or magic attacks for the entire party. And this makes a really good sort of complement to that, because you can use this on the turns that you can't use that barrier, and it's really good. So yeah, we just need to get Starlight Barrier as well now. I don't have to get it from these guys, but I'm here and I want another skill from up here as well, so I may as well get it whilst I'm here. Really, there are 4 skills that we're looking at in terms of support stuff that I would want to get right now. There was Reflect Wall, of course, we've just got. Starlight Barrier is the other one we want to get here. Leaf Shield is another one that we will want to get. And the 4th one is... where was it from again? The 4th one is Shield Wall. Which, oh, hi Yukos. The 4th one, Shield Wall, is something we'll be able to get from the guys, the Spartan guys from the previous stage. Like stage 19 and stuff, we'll be able to get it from there, so that is exactly what we shall do. So yeah, until I get the next skill, that is basically going to be that. Also, freaking paralysis. So apparently Reimu is still getting full experience from this stage, or like bonus, not quite bonus experience yet. She oh, she's not really getting full, or is she? Who knows, right? No, she's getting the same experience here, and she gets a new skill too. Alright, so let's go ahead and equip that, actually, because it is better than what we have here. So, Hyper Amulet. It doesn't have any cooldown, which is a bit weird considering the previous skill did, but takes up more MP, has a high attack power though, and of course the usual amulet stuff of it always hits and ignores all sorts of reflect on the enemy, so you can guarantee that will do damage, and it's pretty powerful. One of her better attack skills, that's for sure. Okay, so apparently I managed to get Byakuren petrified, even though she has a good resistance to that, but Petrol Cloud is a spell card that the expert can use, and yeah, supposedly it can use it to petrify resistant characters. Hell yeah. So that's kind of annoying, but Reimu survived, and that's all that really matters. That way, can you petrify yourself? You can petrify yourself. Oh man. So now I can just physical attack to hell and back, and that is basically all that you need to do. So, Petrol Cloud was something I was trying to get before. It's a basic all-target spell. It is a spell card, so you do need to watch that, but it can petrify the entire party. And it does a decent, you know, it doesn't do any damage, but it has a really decent petrify rate, so do keep it in mind. It's a pretty good skill, so yeah. So I just briefly want to go over how stuff is altered when you use Aya as your character slot here rather than as your commander. So I'm actually using Yomu now because her half phantom attack will let you basically cut the resistance down on the enemies, so this makes it even easier to inflict the charm that you need to deal with here. And with Aya in the party instead, you basically just need to use Illusionary Dominance, or you could use Tengu Support if you don't have any bombs left, but I've loaded up Aya with 12 bombs, so she can use Dominance a ton of times, and that obviously helps out quite a lot. So yeah, this is how it works now. Instead, we get to just use this and resist down the enemies, get magic down, cast a fair bit, which is nice. The instant death obviously is another thing that can happen, and then charm can get inflicted, apparently not on the right enemies, so you know, it's not perfect, and Aya can then just get instant killed because this guy is a bit of a dick. So yeah, that's the general idea. Of course, like anything, it's not 100% guaranteed. That's just as high a chance as you can have, and just so you are aware of the nuances here, we have 146 induction and 25% extra mind control success rate here, or you know, like the 25% higher chance of stuff. I don't know if that's additive or if it's just 25% of the chance that you have to mind control. But yeah, we're sitting at 146 induction because we've maxed out the status magic tree as well. So we are literally sitting on as much induction and as much mind control stuff as possible. I can actually add points to dex here. I can add them instead of the support magic here, because let's face it, I'm not going to be using that very much, and yeah. Cooldowns, do I need that? I don't need the cooldowns, but if I add more points to dex, I can add even more to induction. So yeah, this is essentially as optimized as it's going to get. I can already use my charm attack every turn, so now we are sitting on 149 in induction here, which is solid, as you would expect. And there we go, that is Starlight Barrier, straight up. Pretty solid. I can probably just get away with autoing this fight now, because, yeah, he's gonna go down pretty quick, and then this guy shouldn't really be too much of an issue by himself. Yeah, sure, boost your physical attack, see if I care, you're gonna go down before you really get a chance to use that, because I said so. So yes, Starlight Barrier, it's, I think that's the last skill that I want from this stage, but it's another bomb skill, so we're finally starting to see where Satori's bombs come in. The cooldown is gigantic on this skill. 9-turn cooldown, at best it's a 6-turn cooldown skill, so I actually don't like this skill that much, but I still acknowledge it's kind of essential for Satori to have around, because this gives your entire party basically Notori's free bomb commander skill. This is that in a nutshell. You get full immunity from the next attack that hits you, damage wise at the very least. It still can inflict status and everything, but if it's a status only attack, I don't think it penetrates the Starlight Barrier, which totally sounds dirty if you read it that way, but that's not how we're looking at it. So, yeah, it's a multi-target move that just negates everything. Not quite as practical as Reflect Wall, but of course it doesn't matter whether it's physical or magic, so yeah, powerful skill to have around. Okay, so let's turn our attention to the most obnoxious of these skills to get, simply because of the conditions that it requires. So Leaf Shield is only available from the Garden of the Sun, and that's it. It's only available from the Sword Fairies as well, and additionally it's only available with all of those conditions already. It's also only available in specific encounters, not just any Sword Fairy encounter. The Sword Fairy has to be alongside a Cockatrice or a Basilisk in order to use the skill. And the way it basically just guarantees itself to use it against, you know, that enemy, against a Basilisk or against a Cockatrice. So once you have the right encounter, which is rare enough to find in the first place, you have to priority charm, because Leaf Shield is a high priority attack. You have to priority charm it and then hope that it uses Leaf Shield. Leaf Shield is a single target move, so it only targets one place on your team. So that also doesn't help. Yukuris will also mess with you a fair bit, as Sakia gains a level here as well. So yep, Yukuris are a pain in the butt for this too. And you then have to hope, as I said, hope that it hits the right place. In my previous experience, the move always seemed to hit the same character, which I think at the moment is where Aya is positioned, but I don't remember. So we're gonna have to just find the encounter, and then when we do, see where it hits. And if it doesn't hit where Satori is right now, I'll move her position and hopefully we'll learn the skill. Leaf Shield is one of the most useful attacks to learn, support-wise, so you definitely want to get this. And we could have had this from level 40. I just wanted to save it for a proper, like, you know, full video thing here. But as you can see, it's annoying to even get the right encounter, so we should be back when said encounter shows up. Okay, so we have one encounter here which does have a Sword Fairy and, as you can see, Sword Fairy at the top, and a couple of Cockatrices, so it could be using Leaf Shield here. So again, it's a fairly high priority attack, so we'll need to go ahead and interrupt that, I'm actually just gonna use the all target charm here because I think that will work just as well. And then Illusionary Dominance should let me go ahead, obviously, as it will, because that's the idea behind it. And we'll just Kusanagi down you, and I may as well Psycho Blast. It won't kill, so yeah. Of course, there's a decent chance it won't even use Leaf Shield. That might have actually stopped it using Leaf Shield right there, I don't know. Yeah, well, it went Falcon Slash instead anyway, so yeah, this happens quite a bit, where you just don't actually get stuff off properly because it decides, hey, I'm not going to use Leaf Shield this turn. I don't know if killing the Cockatrice actually changed that or not, though. That might have just been my mistake, but oh well, if it was, it was. Okay, take two, this time with less Cockatrice killing. I didn't actually realise that that was gonna... For some reason I didn't realise that was gonna instant kill, but oh well, it did, so that's that. Psycho Blast is better here. So we'll see if it uses, you know, that one Sword Fairy uses the Leaf Shield this time. We do at least get the Charm off, which is nice. I'm not using Yomu here for some reason, I just realised that. And there we go. Oh, I actually did use it on Satori as well. That is super convenient. Because, yeah, it could have that could have gone anywhere, that particular attack. So yeah, we have learned Leaf Shield instantly, which I am most appreciative of. Because I was expecting that to be a lot more annoying than it actually was to get in the end. So, heck yeah, I suppose. So then we just have to win this fight, and I can show you exactly what the skill does, and winning the fight is what Meteor Zapper does best. So, yeah. Let us show Leaf Shield, which I consider one of the best skills of the game for Satori. It is a non-spell, that's the first good thing. It is, well, buff by its thing that it says several times. Basically, it's a single target skill that it does what was it, Notori's Hydro Camouflage does for herself? I think it's Hydro Camouflage, where basically she gets to nullify 2 attacks that are used against her. Leaf Shield does that for any character, without a bomb, and with only 15 MP cost after reductions are taken into effect. That's really, really, really strong. Like, my god, that's so strong. And the 5-turn cooldown seems really expensive, but it's a magic skill and it's a learn skill, which means that Satori can cut that cooldown to just 2 turns. Which is, it's good. It's extremely good. You can keep yourself alive from very, very nasty attacks with that. And the fact that it's a relatively cheap non-spell means you can just keep casting that every time it's available. The only catch is that it does count as a variety buff, like this and Starlight Barrier, they're both variety status, so if you're using someone like Yomu, that can clash, and you might not be able to get all the buffs that you want on. So that can be a bit of a problem, but other than that, it's ridiculously good. So now we just need to go ahead and get ourselves the final defensive skill before I start going and getting random other skills that I need, and that is Shield Wall. In order to get that, I'm going to have to go to the previous stage, stage 19. Could go into stage 18 for it as well, and that might end up being easier, but who said we ever do things easily, right? Stage 19 or bust, that's what I say. I'm just gonna kill these because I might get a Sunflower Seed, who knows. It didn't die for my other attacks there. And would you look at that, we did get a Sunflower Seed. I think I actually need one of those if I wanted to make one of the there was an item I wanted to make with sunflower seed, I think. Or that might have been one of the ones I already made. I don't remember. Doesn't matter too much at the moment. All we need to do is to go for shield walls. So let's find ourselves a Spartan warrior and we shall have a go at getting that skill. Okay, so the Spartan enemy does, or Fanlax I guess he's called, but basically Spartan, he does use his shield wall attack fairly often, so I'm hoping we'll just be able to get it off here. I'm gonna half phantom attack because I should do that regardless. And yeah, we're just gonna hopefully get it off before it's well, not even before it acts, because I know I'll get it off before it acts. It's just a case of, are we actually going to be able to get the attack off here? Are we actually going to be able to get it to shield? But this is essentially all we have to do is go for this, and are we actually... No, we're just going to miss with that entirely, because hell yeah. Although you can charm it. Alright, that's good to know. So, show me that shield wall. That is how it goes. This has gone way better on a whole than it should have. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, we just need to win this fight now, which is easier said than done with this particular team. Let me tell you, this team is not designed for doing fights of this caliber. I'm gonna hyper trigger Satori and see if I can get her to utilize her traits here for killing, mind blasting stuff. That seems like a reasonable option. Yeah, let's go ahead and try and do that, because I'm probably going to lose half of my charm stuff this turn. So, well, we've got one paralysis, so it's useful enough. Although this might end up insta-kill, but I guess not. No, it just ends in that thing dying instead. Okay, half phantom attack. Let's go take you on with your magic stuff. We shall lower resistance, I guess, on this guy. And still just try and attack through all of the various penalties that we have to deal with here. This evasion on the other guy is really high. And of course that shield wall is gonna nullify pretty much all damage I do this turn. I didn't nullify it, but the paralysis coming off makes this so much easier, because now I can just go ahead and auto, and we should just win. So yeah, these fights are a lot more involved when you don't have decent power, I guess, and in your basic attacks. This is nowhere near as good a party as I was using before for stuff, but that is fine because we still win, and we get Shield Wall, which is a decent skill, but it has some big disadvantages compared to the other skills that we have learned here. So, advantage, it's cheaper, 21 MP, it's okay, not quite as cheap as Leaf Shield, but it's cheaper than the other multi-target ones. You know, Starlight Barrier and Reflect Wall both take a bomb and a lot more MP than this, so that's a good advantage. Disadvantages, well, it's not really a disadvantage that it takes a shield to use, like, apart from that's kind of obvious. It's a bit like Alice's skills there. If you don't have an equipped shield, you cannot use the skills at all. So, just remember to equip a shield in Satori. Like, it's not as if, unless you're using a staff, you can always use the shield anyway. I think you can still use this attack even if your shield is unusable. Technically, you know, as if, you know, you're using a lance or a staff weapon, the shield cannot be activated, you can still use Shield Wall. But the big disadvantage is that it's a physical skill. And the reason this is such a big problem is that physical skills do not gain benefits from the magic tree, like the third eye tree for cooldowns. Only magic skills get that. So if we take a quick look at that, The third eye tree will cut your magic skill cooldowns by 2, but your physical skill cooldowns don't get cut at all. They only get cut by 1 with the learning tree, so it has a 3-turn cooldown, where it should really be a 1-turn. That's a big disadvantage, you can't use it too often, and it also doesn't block all that much. Like, it doesn't nullify or reflect like Reflect Wall does, but what it does instead is it cuts physical damage down to 25% for the turn. So you only end up taking a quarter of the damage you would have taken from physical attacks that turn. That's still pretty good. So don't get me wrong when I say it's a limited skill, it is still a very powerful skill. Just don't expect it to, you know, destroy the world. Or let you tank every hit ever, because that's not going to happen. Anyway, I'm actually still doing this fight because I want the Wisdom Ring, but also because I want to try and get Akala Sword if I could, but this party's not really well enough set for it, so I'm probably not going to be able to do that. Especially not when I just kill my own charm. Yeah. Alright, well, Aya does get a level because of Byakuren's last word here, so decent stat growth there. Aya needs to reach level 57, I think it is, before she gets another skill, which is kind of annoying. But that skill will be well worth the wait, just it will take a long time to reach that. Alright, Satori gains a level 2. This is not really the idea of killing the enemies in here. I'm looking for one specific skill from the Lizard Warriors, and well, if I happen to find any of the Angel mechs on the way past, then I will kill them too, because I still want that magic ring. And good job, Yukari, you surprise ran. That was a worthwhile use of my time. Alright, Byakuren gains another level after a really long and kind of boring fight. Yeah, this team is not obviously designed to kill enemies, it's designed to priority gain skills. And now that I don't really need the priority side of things, I should probably switch the party out, because stuff like this just destroys me entirely. Like, this party is basically unbeatable for this setup. So yeah, I should switch out my stuff now, but I'm too lazy, I guess. I don't know, I don't really need the skill from here just now, I just wanted to show it off, but hey, I can get it later. We'll go and do other stuff for a while. In fact, thinking about it, it's gonna take an awful long time, and the video size and everything, I don't think I'm gonna run out of hard drive space anytime soon, but I'm looking at the size of between this and the previous video stuff so far. It's almost 800 meg, and that's gonna be an awful lot to take on. So I think what I'll do is I may end up just doing a quick summary of skills learned at the, maybe even as a part 0.5 to this. I could just do a very quick, here's what I've done for a long time. I have so many videos sort of pre-recorded of this that I can get away with just taking 4 or 5 days over this, I think. So I'm gonna get a whole bunch of the skills in my own time, then I'm gonna show, you know, those skills off and tell you where I got them from, so that you know which enemies to go for yourself. But I'm not going to go ahead and have that recorded because the file size is getting ridiculous here, and I don't want to be editing about 4 hours worth of video, because that's how it feels like that's where this is gonna get to, is it's gonna end up having to edit several hours of video in one thing, and Camtasia doesn't usually like that. So yeah, I'm gonna call it with that. So this has been Gamer Cal playing Touhou the Genius Sapphires. Next time we'll go ahead and show off the skills that we have learned in a 0.5 part, but in the next proper part we shall go into stage 20, the Divine Temple, and we'll begin the hell ride that is that stage. So until then, take care.